Hello YouTube, Moviemadjack here for episode 3 of my 5-part series. This time, I'm going to be talking about my favourite war movies of all time. So I've got 5 lined up for you today, and I'm going to be talking about them. The first one is Enemy at the Gates. Not going to lie, not my favourite war movie, but it's very enjoyable. Stars Jude Law as this Russian rifleman who's extremely good at shooting people from a long distance. Finds himself on his own in enemy territory. This is going on in the background of the Battle of Stalingrad, by the way. He meets Joseph Fiennes, who plays this other Russian. Ralph Fiennes' brother, just in case you were wondering. Which I think he is. And he goes and he realises that he's got an incredibly good talent at shooting guys from a long distance, and requests his help at their little, I don't know, it's not really a town, it's not really a village, it's sort of like a little building full of, sort of, I don't know, they might be Jewish people, I really can't remember this film. And they're getting pestered by this German sniper, so he gets him involved and asks him to try and destroy the sniper before he totally obliterates their existence. So it sort of turns into this game of cat and mouse going on in the background of Battle of Stalingrad and World War II. And yeah, it's very enjoyable. I'm pretty sure there isn't actually any truth in the story, apart from this Battle of Stalingrad going on in the background, and that's true for a fact, but, you know, I'm sure it's purely fiction, purely for the enjoyment of the World War II fanatics. I surely enjoyed it. Not the best World War II film, but pretty good. The second one is We Were Soldiers, set in the Vietnam War, and it stars Mel Gibson. He's probably the most famous person in this. I think his wife might be famous, but I can't remember who she's played by. Madeleine Stone, that's it. She's quite famous, I think. So the first 40 minutes of this film builds up his character. He's very assertive, sort of platoon leader or company leader, I can't remember which, but or general or something. He's quite high up in the leader ranks, and it shows him training his soldiers up, but also his family life, because they invented this sort of camp that your family can stay at while you're training to go off to war, so they can spend a bit more time with you before you do actually leave to go to war. And then the rest of it is just an all-out war flick. Very good, very violent, extremely violent at some points. Of course, Vietnam was an extremely bloody battle, not because of the amount of men that were lost, just because of the sheer terror that was revolved around it, because in World War II there was all these lives that lost, but in Vietnam it was so incredibly scary. But yeah, it really captures that in this film. Very good. We Were Soldiers. The next film is a film by Oliver Stone, who wrote the screenplay for one of my favourite gangster films of all time, featured in my last video, Scarface. If you know, he's very good at capturing characters' emotions and very good at writing characters. They always gradually develop across the film, and, you know, show their true colours at the very end. But this film, Platoon, is set in the Vietnam War and focuses on Charlie Sheen's character. Again, a very emotional character, focuses on an emotion of terror. He's very scared about going into war. He's very young, he's only about early 20s. He's got this very 80s haircut, which, you know, can't be helped. It was filmed in the 80s, and Charlie Sheen was very self-indulgent, wasn't he? I'm sure that they didn't actually get him to change it. But he just has to deal with his own emotions in the Battle of Vietnam. There's some very good scenes, like when they're doing night watches and he falls asleep and they get attacked by the enemy. He also becomes very good friends with the Colonel, who's very assertive, very friendly, played by Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I love this film. The characters involved are great, especially, I remember there was like this sort of incredibly friendly and nice general played by Willem Dafoe, and there was this sort of nasty general, I don't know if they're generals or just platoon leaders, but long time ago since I've seen this, but very good film. If you're into a very emotional film, which also is set in Vietnam, then watch Platoon. It's fantastic. The next film is a film by Stanley Kubrick, his only war film, I believe, Full Jacket. Not one of the most violentest, well, I suppose it's violent, but it's not really war-based violence, it's more emotional-based violence, like a lot of these films are. So it's basically split into two parts, the first being at this boot camp, where, I can't remember it, I think his name's Liami, who's this, you know, if you've seen it, he's this boot camp leader who's very hard on them, makes them do like 100 press-ups, and if they stop, you know, they have to run a mile or something. I'm not really sure on how it worked, and it focuses on like this, I think his name's Goma, something like that, and he's quite overweight, he's not really fit to be in the army. He gets picked on a lot by this colonel, and gets bullied a lot by his fellow campmates because he makes things that he does leads into repercussions involving the other campmates doing physical exercise, which they were not very happy about. So that, which I think is fantastic, it focuses on characters beautifully, is sort of, it's almost a character study, this film. It really is amazing. But then it goes into the second film where Goma isn't in it anymore, but Joker, sort of, he was also in the first part, but not as much as the other guy. And he's this journalist who goes around writing, you know, accounts of soldiers. I know this is a popular opinion, but I don't find the second half as thrilling as the first half. It's a bit boring at places there, and there isn't a lot of action, even though there wasn't a lot in the first half. There isn't loads, because it's quite boring, until the very last bit, which I find incredibly good, incredibly emotional, and the last scene where they singing the Mickey Mouse theme. Oh, it's just beautiful. Full really good. Made in 87 as well, so another good 80s war movie. And now, the last film, which I'm sure you would all have expected, being in a some of the best war movies ever made. It is Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. The 5 Academy Award winner, starring Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, and a whole load of other fantastic actors. Involves Tom Hanks' squad going after Matt Damon, who is the last brother in his family, all of which have been killed in the war, and to save his mother's feelings, they go out to save him, to bring him back from the war, to bring him back to his mother safely. Focuses on war extremely well. It's really good representation. The first scene where they storm the beaches of Normandy is fantastic. It's incredibly violent, incredibly gritty. It's also got this really grainy feel to the shots, but really good. Saving Private Ryan. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you all in episode 4, which I believe I'll be shooting on Sunday. I'll see you all then. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.